Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining me for this short presentation that I'm going to do on the top scams that we've been hearing about so far in 2021 that are being reported by older Coloradans. And my name is Mark Federhoff. I'm with the AARP Elder Watch program. And for those of you who are not familiar with Elder Watch is a partnership between AARP and the Colorado Attorney General's Office. We have been around for 20 years, celebrating our 20th year this year. And our program consists of, a volunteer staffed call center that helps take inquiries about different types of frauds and scams across the state of Colorado. And we typically take somewhere between 200 and 300 calls a month right now. That number's a little bit down. Over the pandemic time, usually it'd be more between 400 and 500, but I think just less activity leads to less calls. In addition to that, we do lots of education outreach around the state of Colorado. Over the last 18 months, that work has been done mostly virtually, but it is something that we look forward to getting back out and doing once we can. In addition to that, too, we have some financial literacy work that we're working on as well as part of the Elder Watch program. And so if you have further questions about that, we'll give you the helpline number at the end of today's presentation. And you can learn a little bit more about the financial literacy work that we're doing for older adults in Colorado as well. In our office, we also do a host of national work for AARP and in partnership with FINRA. The AARP Fraud Watch Network is a national helpline, very much like the Colorado helpline, but in just a larger scale. And we have volunteers across the country who are helping out with that. We also do some work with the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority in terms of warning people about different types of investment frauds and scams. So today, as I said, I'm going to just go through what we've been hearing so far in 2021 from older Coloradans with regards to the top scams that are out there right now. And when I'm saying that, essentially what I did this week was pull data from our database of all of the different scams that have been reported to our helpline from Colorado over in 2021 so far. I just want to talk about those because they have been a little bit different than what we've seen in other years, just based upon pandemic lifestyle. And I just wanted to go over those and the numbers that we have so far in terms of what we've been seeing. And so people can really watch out for the different types of scams that are really taking advantage of folks in Colorado and across the country as a result of the pandemic. And you can see the list here, the top 5, and I'm also going to go over some other notable scams. Number 1, identity theft. Number 2, imposter government scams. Number 3, imposter business scams. Number 4, tech support, computer virus scams. And number 5, home repair and improvement. And I will say that all of these scams typically more or less fall in the top 10 list of our normal scams, but the order of them is different and the reasons for the calls have been different in 2021. So just want to go over that to make sure people are very aware of the different things they should be watching out for, and they can educate themselves and their friends and family. So identity theft, again, a major problem, and it really can be part of almost any scam. But the reason identity theft falls on the top of our list this year is really because of unemployment fraud. And essentially what has happened is that in Colorado, over 1 million people have received notification that they have filed for unemployment, but they really haven't. Someone's filed for unemployment in their name. And so this has been a major problem in Colorado and other places across the country. And so it's important to know about this. I know lots of people are extremely alarmed when they receive this notification, but right now it's extremely common. And it's really been the number one reason that identity theft has fallen to the top of our list this year, was that unemployment fraud. But in addition to that, other forms of identity theft, obviously fraudulent charges in your credit card, unauthorized accounts that are opened in people's name, unauthorized use of other personal information. Really, we've heard a lot of different things, anywhere from someone opening a mortgage in someone's name to a $20 charge on a credit card that was not theirs. So it's a wide variety of unemployment, wide variety of different types of identity theft scams, but unemployment is really the reason that identity theft has come to the top of our list this year. Typically, it would fall in the top 10, maybe around number 7, but it's that unemployment fraud, and so it is really important in terms of avoiding identity theft to keep that personal and financial information private. Monitor your accounts regularly, check your annual credit report regularly. You can visit www.annualcreditreport.com to do that. Don't share personal or financial information with unknown callers or entities. Place fraud alerts and credit freezes as well. I'll say that you can get a lot of great information about identity theft and prevention mechanisms on identitytheft.gov, which is the FTC's identity theft specific website. Colorado also has a really great resource through the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. And so for people who have a little bit more intense identity theft situations, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation will help victims help solve that problem. And so they are a great resource. It's not a resource that's available in every state. And so just one that folks should know about, and one that we refer people to when we have more intense types of situations that require further victims assistance, especially involving the authorities. Additionally, because of all of the folks who are dealing with the unemployment fraud, the Colorado Department of Labor is a really important one to know about as well. If you do receive a notification that someone has applied for unemployment in your name, your first step should be to contact the Colorado Department of Labor and let them know that it is a fraudulent claim, so they can go ahead and process that as well. On the identitytheft.gov website, this problem has become so prevalent that in the upper right-hand corner of the website, they have a portal just about identity theft involving unemployment insurance. And so again, you can go to that website and learn more. And it's a really great resource in terms of directing someone who's dealt with the situation. It has step-by-step instructions, in addition to information about contacting the Colorado Department of Labor as well, their website and their phone number. So identity theft, they're at number 1 so far for 2020. Number 2, imposter government scams. And this is actually the category that usually falls at number 1 on our list. And typically, these scam calls are folks impersonating the government in different ways, whether it be Social Security, IRS, Medicare, usually contacting someone over the phone unsolicited. Over the last 2 years, it really has been mostly those Social Security imposter scams that we've been getting. And the Social Security imposter scams are usually very alarming, and they tell someone that their Social Security number was associated with crime, usually on the border in Texas, and that they are going to be in big trouble if they don't pay up. Give their Social Security number to the person over the phone, different types of things. And so just understand that these big government agencies are not going to be calling you. Social Security is not going to be making that call, and they're not going to be threatening you either. Same with the IRS. IRS scam calls were kind of the largest government imposter scam for a very long time, and they've more or less gone away, though we still do get reports occasionally of some of the IRS scams, especially around tax time. So really beware of that as well. Again, Medicare too is not making outbound calls to beneficiaries. So it's really important to understand that if you get one of these calls, no matter what age you are, saying that they're with one of these government entities, it's critical to know that it's a scam and you should just hang up. The Social Security ones really do go to everyone, and I'll say that oftentimes when we get reports of the Social Security imposter scams, they are for the reports are coming from younger people, and so oftentimes the younger person might not understand how Social Security works, and in those cases, they might be more willing to give the last 4 digits of their Social Security number or their entire Social Security number because they're very scared about the situation. So, it's really important that older Coloradans inform their younger friends and relatives that this that this scam's out there, and they actually Social Security is not contacting them. If you have any doubt, whether one of these agencies is actually contacting you, find their known number, not the number given by a scammer, and contact them themselves. I will say 99% of the time, the agency will likely say that was a scam call. We are not doing those outbound calls. So imposter government number 2, imposter business number 3, and imposter business is typically a category that falls a little bit further down on our list. But as a result of the pandemic, I would say that this one has bubbled up to the top, and in some lists that comes up number 2, and it really is because of one scam and one scam only, and it's those Amazon imposter scams. Scammers, follow the news, and they know that people all around the country, in Colorado, everywhere, are using Amazon as a way of getting goods and different types of services they might normally get from a store. And so these Amazon scams are just rampant. They're seeing lots of different types of them. They either usually come as an unsolicited phone call or an email that looks like it's coming from Amazon. And so it's really critical that what the contact looks like from Amazon. So those emails that you get from Amazon, if you do order things from them, know what those look like. And if you do receive a Amazon email that says that you ordered, a high-end product such as like a TV or an iPhone or iPad or other things like that, and says there's something, and then right away you say, well, I didn't order that, and get very freaked out by it. Log into your known Amazon account and see if it's actually in there. There's a good chance that they're just sending a very nicely done spoofed email that looks like it's coming from Amazon to you, and it's really not. So beware of that, and beware, Amazon does not make unsolicited phone calls either. They're, a huge entity, just like those government agencies that I was just talking about, and they're not calling every one of their customers to let them know that there's an issue with their account. So deal with Amazon online like you would any of the other entities or retailer, as opposed to trying to do it over the phone. Check into your known account, change your password if you believe someone has compromised your account as well. But just know that those Amazon scams have really bumped up the imposter business scam category of our phone calls in a serious way. If you have any doubt, to contact that entity using the known number. Report these types of scams, especially the online scams, to ic3.gov. Is a critical place, the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center. So imposter business, number 3 most common scam that we're hearing about from older Coloradans. Number 4, and tech support scams often, come in our list somewhere, usually around number 2 or number 3. They're bumped down to number 4 just because of some of those other pesky scams that I already mentioned. But I would say that they have not gone away by any means. So if you receive an unsolicited phone call or a pop-up window on your computer from someone saying they're with Windows or Apple or another large computer company, be very skeptical, because there's a very good chance that it is a scam. And these types of entities, again, like Amazon and large government agencies, Windows is not calling you. So if you receive that type of unsolicited contact saying there's a problem with your computer, don't believe that person and hang up. If there is a real problem with your computer, be proactive. Find someone who's tech savvy, who can take a look at your computer to see if there really is a problem. Also, find a trusted local place that you might be able to take your computer if you don't have someone who might be tech savvy enough to help you out with any tech support problems that you're dealing with. In terms of those calls, if you do get them, just hang up. Don't talk to these people. They can be really convincing and nice, and really convince you they want to help you. But in reality, all they want to do is take your money and get access to your computer to take more of your money. So understand that, and understand that these people are also relentless. So they will continue to call you. If you have ever, received this type of a call before and have engaged with these folks, it's important to have someone take a look at your computer to make sure that no bad software has made it onto your computer, and to make sure that you're computer is protected from future attacks as well. I think one really important detail about this scam, and when we talk to people who have been victimized by this scam, a lot of the times it's older computers that receive the pop-up windows as this type of a scam. And so, if folks are not updating their Windows program on their computer, updating their antivirus program, it's really important to do those types of things to help prevent those future pop-ups coming up on your computer. And hopefully it'll solve lots of problems down the road if you do those updates. And so sometimes a simple restart of your computer might be one way of doing that, just getting some of those basic updates for programs like Windows. So again, number 4, tech support and computer virus scams. One of the most common scams still being reported by older Coloradans. And number 5, home repair and improvement scams. So we see these in 2 forms, more or less. The first kind is the full-on scam, where it's more or less a fly-by-night worker or contractor who shows up at your door. They say they're going to fix your roof or fix your fence or do some type of project for you. They need money in advance to go get supplies, and then they never show back up again. And so avoid someone who shows up at your door, avoid someone who doesn't kind of have a reputation, who you haven't done research on. We still do get calls from people who experience this type of situation. Usually it's someone who's a smooth talker and they're just looking for quick money. So don't let someone who shows up at your door or over the phone convince you you should give them money in advance to do some type of a project. The other type of complaint that we hear is typically some type of a disagreement with a contract. And so this happens frequently. Project wasn't done the way they anticipated it, that type of a thing. And so, to combat this, it's really important to do extensive research before engaging with any type of contractor or project worker. Get referrals from friends, neighbors, check the BBB rating, get multiple bids for the project, check different type of review sites as well. Google has lots of reviews, Yelp has lots of reviews. Check all these different sources to make sure that the company is on the up and up and they have customers who stand by the work that they have done. So you don't end up in those situations where you might have to go to small claims court or other locations to help solve different types of issues you might have with a contractor. So again, don't do business with your door. Develop a refusal script for those people who might show up at your door and want to help you with some type of project, but you don't know who they are. Understand a contract fully. Don't sign anything you don't understand, and just do your due diligence in terms of knowing very well who the person is that you're working with and the work and how they're going to stand behind their work. We do have to deal with reports with regards to these Attorney General's office, Better Business Bureau, other licensing agencies. Oftentimes, the disagreements with contractors might end up in small claims court, that type of a situation as well. So it really depends. We still do get quite a bit of calls on this. Oftentimes it's with most of the time I would say it's about a shoddy home improvement job or a disagreement with a roofing organization, that type of a thing. So those are the top kind of 5 scams that we're still hearing about in 2021. I did want to talk about 5 other really notable scams that are just happening as a result of the pandemic and the time that we're dealing with right now. Number 1, romance scams. They really have been bubbling up more and more. Scammers know that people are lonely, and they know that there are lots of vulnerable older adults out there. And so you don't have to be on Match.com or OkCupid or whatever dating websites out there to be involved in a romance scam. Lots of them are starting on Facebook and other social media sites. So if you have a Facebook profile or other, Instagram profile or whatever it may be, you might be susceptible to this type of scam. We even hear about them bubbling up on apps like Words with Friends and gambling apps. Anywhere where you can interact with someone else, you're likely to encounter someone who might be trying to engage in some type of a relationship or romance scam with. So, right away, it's really important to know that if someone asks you for money who you've never met in person, it's most likely a scam. and it's time to disengage with that person right away. Way too many people go down the road of talking to these folks for way too long. So be really careful. My advice really is to only engage with people on social media who you know in person. Number 2 on this list, Medicare scams. They are really trending right now as open enrollment is coming up, but really any time of year, Medicare scams are prevalent. I will say though that if you're get any type of unsolicited phone call from someone asking you for your Medicare number, it's a scam. Medicare numbers should only be given directly to your healthcare providers, known healthcare providers. They should not be given to any random person on the phone. If you engage with your health insurance company or another type of health entity that you're trying to set up an appointment with, they might ask for your Medicare number, and that would be fine. But if someone calls you and engages with you and says, I need your Medicare number, do not give it to them, hang up on them. It's a scam. So watch out for these. We are hearing lots of different scams involving DNA swab tests, medical devices such as back braces, neck braces, etc. Also, people calling and saying that they will get you a new Medicare card. They just need your Medicare number, and then you'll get a new card with a chip on it, for instance. So all those are scams. Disengage, hang up on them. Government grant scams. These are also really common. Most of them are bubbling up on Facebook. I will say that what happens here is that scammers will mimic an account on Facebook, and then they're going to befriend all of those people who that actual person is friends with. And then at that time, they're going to start messaging their friends and saying that they had received some type of a great government grant deal, and that person too can receive the grant if they follow these instructions, click this link, and pay this money. And so know that these are going on, again, mostly happening and bubbling up on Facebook. So again, if you get a message from someone who claims to be your friend that is too good to be true, again, disengage, report that profile, and let the person know whose profile is being mimicked or hijacked or used that those scams are going on. And it's critical that hopefully if you report that, Facebook will then take down the profile of the fake person who's saying that these government grants are available. And I think this scam is really prevalent right now because people have been getting more government assistance over the last 18 months. And people want that opportunity if they think they can have it to get that type of government assistance. And so I think people might be more susceptible to this, especially if they think it's coming from someone who is a friend or family member on Facebook. Number 4 on this list, fraudulent sales. And I put a picture of a cute puppy on this slide just because we've seen lots of puppy scams as a result of the pandemic. Again, people's loneliness and isolation, they want companionship and sometimes are looking for a dog. So scammers, again, realize this, and they are putting up fake websites that are selling puppies, kitties, all types of different animals for companionship. And it ends up being a big old scam saying they're going to ship these animals and you can lose thousands of dollars as a part of these types of scams. So be really careful, do your research before getting a puppy, but just know that there's lots of fake websites showing up as a result of the pandemic. And it's not just puppies or animals, it's all types of things. And so really watch out and do your research before purchasing something from a website that you've never done business with before. And the last one on this list just never goes away, but usually shows up in our top 5 list and did not this year because of some of the other prevalent ones. But sweepstakes, prize, and lottery scams are still out there. So if you ever receive a phone call that someone says you have to pay money to receive money, it is a scam. No matter what, if they're trying to nickel and dime you or ask for thousands of dollars, no matter what, if you have to pay money to receive money, it's a scam, and you should disengage with that person immediately. Typically, the person claims to be with a known entity such as Publishers Clearinghouse, or they'll say they're with Mega Millions International, which doesn't exist, or some other type of entity that sounds very much like a sweepstakes entity dealing with these situations. So again, never pay money to receive money, and you won't get in trouble on that one. Just as we're coming to the end of the presentation here, if there are any questions, please put them in the chat box. I'm happy to answer it at the very end, but just to give you a heads up, this is nearing the end of the presentation. So in case folks do have some type of a question, go ahead and start typing it right now. So this is kind of my laundry list that I like to throw out there at the end of every presentation that I do, no matter what it is, about just really some good ways to avoid scams. Number one, protect your personal and financial information. The more you do this, the more likely you are to avoid things like identity theft that we talked about before, and losing money directly out of a bank account. Manage your phone calls. Still, upwards of 70% of all scams that are reported start as a phone call. So if you have any doubt about the person you're talking to on the other line, it's a really easy step to take. Hang up. Yes, it might be rude. It doesn't matter. Hang up. If you don't know that person, they're likely trying to get your personal or financial information. So managing your phone calls is a really important step to take to avoiding any type of fraud and scam. Do your research, especially when we're talking about different entities that as part of this presentation. Doing your research about websites that you're doing business with, doing your research about contractors, auto repair shops, anything like that. Do your research so you don't get in the hot water later with an entity that has done bad work in the past. So doing your research might also get you out of a lot of hot water as well. One really easy tactic that I use is when you go into a search bar on your computer, you can type the name of the company and put the word scam or complaint or just anything like that next to it, and see if other people have complained about that company. And if they have, it's probably time to look for someone else to deal with. Number 4, avoiding contact with unknown entities. Again, hanging up on people, closing the door on people that you are trying to, that you don't trust who are at your door. Avoiding people online who might be contacting you. I probably get some type of a Facebook or Instagram request from some random person every day, and I don't let them come through because I don't know them, and they're really just trying to get anyone they can to befriend them, and so they can start messaging them and then try to get their money. So be really careful about that. It's okay to be skeptical, and it's okay to be rude. Don't rush to act. Think and talk to others. Scammers don't want you to think about anything. They want you to act on an impulse. And so it's really critical that you take a minute to think about it. And also, vet it with a friend, vet it with a family member, vet it with a neighbor. The more likely you are to talk about it and think about it, the less likely you are to get involved in the scam and end up in hot water by giving personal or financial information. So do those two things, and you're really gonna reduce your chances of being involved in a fraud or scam. Consider any unusual payment options a red flag. So if you're paying the IRS with a Home Depot gift card, it's a scam. If you're buying a Green Dot gift card and you don't know what Green Dot is, it's a scam. So remember these types of things. If you're paying in a way that you don't usually pay for something, it's a scam. And so avoid those types of situations. If you're out buying Bitcoin and you don't know why you're buying Bitcoin and you've never bought Bitcoin in your life, it's a scam. Be very careful about these things. Gift cards are meant for family and friends at the holidays or for their birthdays, that type of thing. They are not meant for any type to use as a payment method for a business or government agency. Remember that, and you're going to save yourself a lot of problems. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Everyone on today's call knows that. Actively seek information about trending frauds and scams, just like you're doing today, and also share it with a friend. Hopefully that'll save them down the line too. Share your story. Again, another way of saving others from potentially being victimized by a scam. And report. We can do these presentations because people report scams to us, and we know what's trending and we know how prevalent they are just because of the different reports we get. But if there's a scam out there that no one's reporting, we can't tell people about it. So report it. Report it to ARP, report it to the Attorney General's office, report it to the FTC, report it to the FBI. Any entity you can. We talk to each other and try to make sure everyone else knows about these types of frauds and scams. The Elder Watch phone number is at the top of this screen, 1-800-222-4444. It is part of the Colorado Attorney General's consumer complaint line. You can get connected with a wealth of resources by calling that phone number, including volunteers with our office. Additionally, you can visit the website stopfraudcolorado.gov to report a fraud or scam with the Attorney General's office, and also learn about the different types of frauds and scams that are out there. You can get ARP Fraud Watch Network alerts. You don't need to be an ARP member to get those. You can also follow us on Facebook. Lots of regular updates about different types of frauds and scams and presentations that are going on through Elder Watch on our Facebook page. If anyone has any questions, I would be happy to take them, but I totally understand if you don't. I'll wait for just 1 second. But again, I really appreciate folks coming and listening today. This presentation has been recorded and it will be available as part of our YouTube channel. You can share with friends and neighbors in case you think they would benefit from the information that we shared today. Thank you so much and have a great rest of the day.